Hey everyone, welcome to Past Lives and the Divine. I'm Gina, the host of this podcast, and today I have another hypnotic journey for you and some answers to some questions that I've received just in the last couple months about these hypnotic journeys. And these questions are from people who are in my membership group, Kinship. Some of these questions are from people in community hypnosis. And so if you're wondering what community hypnosis is, it's actually a recording that I'm going to be sharing with you today. So every month, the first Thursday of every month this year, with the exception of July, I'm doing community hypnosis. That is a free hypnotic journey to another lifetime for anyone who wants to log on to Zoom and join us. It's really that simple. So if you go to pastlivesandthedivine.com and click on Work With Me, click on Community Hypnosis, you can also access the link in the show notes of this episode. But get your name on that email list and you will get all the information you need to not only be at the next community hypnosis, the date, the time, the Zoom link, but also plenty of information for you to prepare for that journey. So even if you are a beginner, brand new to hypnosis, this is something I made with you in mind. So if you sign up for that, follow all of my recommendations to prepare for the community hypnosis journey. Join us at that journey live. Ask me any questions that you want. Do that journey with the group. There is some power in doing it with a group. And then when we come out, we journal. Some people share if they feel like sharing their experience or if they have questions about their experience that they want. Anyway, it's a beautiful thing. Go to pastlivesandthedivine.com, find the community hypnosis page under the Work With Me tab. Put your name on that email list so you can join us for that. So that recording is how this episode is going to end. And that recording, the intention for the hypnotic journey to another lifetime, the past life regression that we're doing, the intention is to call in whatever it is that you need for this year, whatever good you want to bring into your life in this year. This is a hypnotic past life journey designed for you to experience another lifetime that will help you call in whatever it is that you want. And something that I'm actually sharing, I'm not only sharing the hypnotic journey from that event, but I'm also sharing a little snippet of what was shared afterward. So like I said, after we do the hypnotic journey, there's time if people want to share their experience or if they have questions, we can talk about that. And one participant, she's also a kinship member, Becky, shared her experience. Her intention for 2024 is to bring in more fun. Like, who doesn't want that? And we live in a world where we need to be intentional about that, or you might have no fun in your life. And that's her intention for the year. And it was pretty cool what she shared about the other lifetime that she experienced and how fun is a mindset. But she goes a little bit deeper into that. So I'm sharing that. That's at the very end of the episode. Right before that, you will experience the hypnotic journey. If you look in the show notes of this episode, you'll see timestamps for all of it. The questions, the hypnotic journey. My suggestion to you is to listen to this, look at the timestamps, listen to it, make time in the future to do this hypnotic journey on your own. You can do this hypnotic journey, fully reclined back, supported, eyes closed. You could do it in a comfortable seated position. You could do it in a comfortable seated position while taking notes. There's all kinds of ways to do this. And I give you more instruction on that in just the little bit of hypnotic journey prep that I do before we move into that journey. And before that, I have some questions that I received during that event and then questions that I've received since. So we'll go through all of those things. Before we get into that, if you listen to this, if you've been to community hypnosis and you want more discussion about these topics, more experience with hypnosis, experiencing other lifetimes, other soul memories, maybe even connecting with beings on your spirit team, ancestors, loved ones on the other side. If you have an interest in that, then I would love to have you join Kinship. Kinship is my membership group. You can find all about that. It's linked in the show notes. You can also find it at pastlivesandthedivine.com. Click on Work With Me, click on Kinship to learn more. I'd love to have you in there. When you join Kinship, you get the recording of the community hypnosis, you get a special hypnotic track, you get a tarot and oracle card reading each month, you get a WhatsApp group to have cool conversations, meet people, discuss topics like this, bring your questions in these realms that you want to ask other people, share your experiences, share your answers to other people's questions. There's all kinds of things that you can do to build your community around these more soul-centered topics. If that's what you want, then I would love to have you in Kinship. And then if you listen to this and you're like, damn, I would kind of like to lead these sessions, whether it's groups or individuals, I would love to have you in the Hypnotic Arts training. So we are currently in the middle of our cohort of students going through the Hypnotic Arts training. And in summer of 2024, we're going to be opening up like the fall cohort. So if you're interested in learning more about the Hypnotic Arts training, learning more about registration opens, and possibly getting the best price on the training, go to the link in the show notes. You can also go to hypnoticartscoalition.com, put your name on that email list to stay on top of everything that we got going on over there if you want it. Okay, everybody, let's get into this episode. We're going to open with some listener and participant questions, and then we'll get into that hypnotic journey. The first question I got is from someone who participated in January's community hypnosis. And this participant asks, I feel like it oftentimes takes me a really long time to get into the visualization of these journeys. Like yesterday, I was just blank for a really long time or seeing things that didn't feel right. Current anxieties, for example. Is that normal? Is it okay? Is there anything I should be doing differently? That's a good question. So here's what I'll say at first. Hypnosis is all about relaxation. And as weird as it sounds, the more you do it, the easier it gets. Hypnosis and relaxation, and just like anything in general, it's actually our nervous systems are wired to do it. So the more you do it, the better you get at it. Meaning, the more often you do these hypnotic journeys, the easier it will be for you to get insights, information, visions, if you're a visual person, sensations, knowings, however this information comes in. It'll be easier to get that information. It'll be easier to identify that information. And in that, it'll be easier to just trust the whole experience. And anytime we can trust and experience, the more relaxed we are. So it is normal. And that's because you've maybe never really tried to do this before. So it's really just a retraining of your brain. So if this sounds like you, if you're listening to this episode, if you sign up for community hypnosis, one of the things you get is a practice track. You can listen to my voice and get used to being relaxed and hypnotized by my voice. So then when we come together at community hypnosis, it's not your first time. You're going to go a little bit farther. You're going to get more information. And then you also have me if you want to ask questions about how it went or anything that doesn't make sense. I would be there to answer those questions too. Okay, so there it is. If you have a busy mind, I do, most people do, it could take a few sessions. It could take a few tries. But even, the difference between someone's experience the first time they do hypnosis and the second time can be vastly different simply because they trust the experience and they've been through it before and they know what it feels like and they know what to look for and they know what the experience is like. So there's just a lot less doubt and it's just an even easier experience. So don't get down if it's kind of weird or not great your first time doing a hypnotic journey. Know that that's totally okay, and know that in the future you could just kind of have a dud too. You could be like, I don't know, I think I fell asleep. And all of that's totally normal. All of it is relaxing and good for you in that realm. And so just know that if it's not a great journey, you can always do it again. Another question from a participant wondering if it's possible to almost manipulate your past life. So this person emailed me, and in this email, talking about being queer in this life. And so in experiencing a past life, maybe this spouse was a man. She's wondering if she didn't kind of change it to a woman because it felt better, felt more natural. And basically the question was, can we change it? What are your thoughts on these kind of situations? So the way I responded, and my response to this is really like kind of twofold. It has to do with like the spouse, and then it has to do with other changes in general that we can make. And before I even answer those questions, this kind of touches on the point and the big question of what are we really experiencing here? Like, we're using hypnosis to access the subconscious mind. And what? Is that a metaphor? Are we accessing every memory that's ever happened to us that's stored in our subconscious mind, and we experience reincarnation and life after life after life and life in between lives? So we're accessing those memories. Is it your life? Is it my life? I think it's the collective. I think we're all one. I think we are all one, the universe experiencing and expressing itself. So in all of that, I don't have any like hard and fast rules. And I don't think any of us here on Earth do. I think that we can really just speak to our own experiences that we have. And my experiences are from my own personal journeys and working with clients. So right away, it's kind of like, I don't know, are you here because are you gathering historical information? That's not really how I do my sessions. If a client wants that information, I will ask those questions for sure, but that's not my personal passion. I'm doing it for the healing, the insights, the wisdom. So I'm asking questions almost as if this is a metaphor that we're here to figure out, because I really do believe that even if it is your past life or our collective lives that we're pulling from, our human intention is the magical, powerful thing in this equation. And so having that intention in mind is going to help make that story make sense. And as a hypnotist, that intention really informs where I go with my questioning within a past life memory. Okay, so that little spiel, kind of like high level. In this case, if this was a session that would have happened, say this community hypnosis participant was my one-on-one session, and it was like, oh, my spouse is here, it's a man, oh wait, it's a woman, oh, I don't know, is that because of my preferences in this life? And I would say and remind this client what I remind any client who is in a past life scene or in a memory from another lifetime. When we are in that space, we are not connecting dots. If we are in that space, we are collecting data. And that data is like, who am I? What am I feeling? What's the internal environment? What's the external environment? What are my motivations? How do I feel? Who am I with? What is my relationship to them? What am I doing? Am I eating? Am I, concocting herbs? Am I making something? Am I traveling somewhere? Where am I traveling to? Where am I coming from? How do I feel about where I'm going or where I'm coming from? I mean, there's so many questions, and there's so many bigger themes that we tie to the intention statement that the gender of a spouse usually is just kind of like, doesn't matter. I mean, if it's the whole point, like if the whole point was like intimacy or seeing a relationship with a certain gender, then maybe. But for me personally, it's less about getting the details right of a kind of a tangential character in the story, and more so trying to understand what is that relationship. I share that because you can hear that and come to community hypnosis and do these past life journeys and learn how it feels to be in that altered state. Take the things that I say, the tips and tricks I use with my clients, and use that on yourself. It seems like a lot. It seems like you won't be able to, but just like any other altered state, the more we navigate that space and inhabit that space, the easier it can be for us to navigate and inhabit that space of that altered state. And in this case, I'm talking about hypnotic trance. The more you do it, the easier it'll get. And the more you do it, the more capacity you're going to have to kind of guide these journeys on your own. And of course, if you want a session and you want to work one-on-one with someone, to me, that's the best way to squeeze the most out of this time in trance, out of a session like this. And I am completely aware that a lot of people, it's just not financially or time wise or the thousands of reasons why people can't schedule a session to do it. And so that's why I'm sharing community hypnosis. That's why I share these little tips with you, just so hopefully one day you're able to navigate that space even more and take some of these tricks and, get even more information from this space. Okay, one more thing I want to say about this. Because the way I lead these sessions is for the client to have an experience that is going to help them in their life today, as opposed to, get some historical, factual lifetime written down. I truly believe, because that's our intention as we move through this session, that if something in our mind is getting kind of like hung up, like the gender of your spouse, because we've set this intention to have an experience that will help us in our life today, our subconscious mind is going to notice that block and it's going to make a little shift, something that doesn't matter, right? Like the gender of your spouse in that life most likely was not a detail that was even important in the story or anything like that. So because human intention is so powerful, because I believe these sessions are divinely guided, that is just something that happens automatically. And I don't know, it's kind of magic, isn't it? I don't know, is it magic? Is it divinely guided? Is it just humans and like the power of our intention? I'm not sure, but I think it's so cool to be encountered with things that make me have those questions on a regular basis. And to answer that question that I get a lot of what goes on in these sessions, what are we doing? What is actually happening? What do we think is happening? What's going on inside of us? And if you want more information on that, check out episode 3, Anatomy of a Past Life Regression. And then you can also check out episode 175, Behind the Scenes of a Past Life Regression. And now I'm going to share the recording, the spliced up recording of Community Hypnosis just a couple months ago in January. So it's going to start out with a couple of the questions, a little bit of hypnotic journey prep, and then we'll get into that journey. And then there's a little bit of sharing afterward. All right, let's get into it. So a question that people have is, can everyone do it? Can I do it? Can I be hypnotized? Everyone can be hypnotized. We all have the ability to do it. So if you relax, if you allow it to unfold and just observe what comes to mind, then you will go somewhere. You will get something. All hypnosis is self-hypnosis. And what that really means is I can't put you into hypnosis. That'd be like me somehow forcing you to meditate with my words. Like it's something that you have to allow to unhappen. So remember that as you're moving through these hypnotic journeys, as you're moving through this journey tonight, as you're getting these questions and you're hearing my voice, just relax into it, just to observe what comes to your mind. And it's going to seem weird and it's going to be like, am I just imagining this? That's your job. It's just collect data, see what comes to mind as we move through these scenes. Everyone can do it. You will probably feel like you're making it up. That's totally okay. That's totally normal. You can still participate and kind of think you're doing that. You'll be able to figure it out at the end for sure. Afraid of what you'll see or will you remember? I feel like those two are often tangled in there. And the thing is that our subconscious mind is there to keep us safe. I have so many stories about this from myself, from clients. Just relax, observe what comes to mind, know that you're safe. I also give the hypnotic suggestions along the way that you are safe, that we're moving to a safe space. So it is something that you'll be able to handle and you will remember it. But it's like a conversation. If you don't ever talk about it again, if you never think about it again, you will forget about it. You might experience emotions as we move through these past life scenes. That's great. Feel them, let the tears flow, feel the joy, feel the grief. Emotions need to move. That is so healing. Even if you just come out of it feeling like, oh, I just cried a lot, like you will feel lighter. You will feel so much lighter. You will have so much clarity from that. So emotions are great. How common is it return to the same life? So I'll answer it like this, Jennifer, and then you can tell me if I'm answering it incorrectly. But I typically my clients will every scene, like in a session like this, they will be in the same life, past life. I call it a past life. Um, but for me personally, I've done so many past life regressions that I have seen the same life, different memories, different perspectives, in terms of like what these memories were about or what I kind of gleaned from these memories. And so, for sure, if you are doing this repeatedly, and it's not like you have to do a ton, but if there is more to learn from that life, or if you're someone who you set an intention or you're looking for a specific answer, if that life has it, your higher self might just be like, let's do that one again. Do people sometimes get a physical sensation that can indicate an ailment for the person in their past life? 100% for sure. And sometimes it'll be like a faint pain that they have in this life that is also in that life, or reverse it, like it's a faint pain in this life, but it's like exaggerated in the past life. That can be for sure. Yeah, okay. Also, I was writing during the experience and filled a few pages that felt like channeled writing, I guess, because the story and sensations were flowing through me. Would that be interrupting the hypnosis or just another way to experience? Yes, the latter, just another way to experience it. I really do believe that, like I said, like to me, hypnosis is an altered state. Like if you boil it way down, it's an altered state. So we can be in an altered state and do many different things. We could be in an altered state of hypnosis and journal. And I actually have podcast episodes where it's called like channel and write. But I think that that's a great way, especially because at this point in my life, I'm going to get more from journaling. Like I might drift off to sleep if I were to just like lay there and do hypnosis. So I really do think it's channeled writing. And I don't think it's interrupting the process at all. If you've never done this before, even if you have done this before, you might cover a question that you didn't know the answer to or didn't remember. So again, what you want to do, number one, is the number one thing in hypnosis, you just have to be able to relax. So if that means locking the bedroom door that you're in, if that means listening while you're, I don't know, laying in the backyard, find a space where you cannot be interrupted and you can relax. Like think of this as setting yourself up like you're taking a nap, like you're meditating. Again, that is the most important thing. If you want more tips and tricks and you're here with the community hypnosis, definitely check your email. I have more information on that. Okay, our intention for this journey, we're going to journey to a past life that's going to help us call in more of what we want this year. So what do you want more of? So maybe you're someone who has a word, goals, resolutions, however you do it. But when you think of what do I want more of in my life this year? And it can be something tangible, it can be something like fun. I think it's a good idea to, even if you're like, I don't know, maybe leave it open and just see what happens. Just calling in more of what I want, more good things in my life. So you can make that little intention statement in your mind, take just a moment to read it, to say, this is my intention, and to adjust any of those words if it feels right to you. But what we're going to do is move through into these past life scenes. One more thing before we get started. Because we're in a group setting and this isn't customized one-on-one, when I ask a question, I give, depending on the question, I give about a minute, a full minute, sometimes 2 minutes, depending on where we're at, for people to just be there and observe what comes to mind, get an answer to the question, allow the scene or the memory to unfold, and then move forward. You might feel like that's not enough time for you. You might feel like, man, I already got that answer and now I'm just kind of floating here. If you feel like you already got that answer and it's taking too much time to get to the next question, just allow the scene to unfold. Just get curious. What happens next? And if you feel like you needed more time, just know that all of this is a memory that's already in your subconscious mind. So you're waking it up. So if you feel like you need more time and the journey ends and we come back, journal it. We can always go through, in my mind, I've done this a handful of times, but when I have felt like that before in a group setting, like the next day or a couple days later, I will just sit down and go through it in my own mind. Like in my own memory, I'll go through it and just write it out. And I always get more information. So just know that if you're listening now, if you're in kinship and you're listening to a replay later, if you feel like this isn't enough time for me to get this information, come back to it and write it out. If you are in kinship, you'll be back doing these journeys again. If you're in community hypnosis, I'd love to have you back again. But either way, if you know, like, I might fall asleep, or if you've done these things before and you know that you need more time or you want to be able to write while you're doing it, feel free to sit up and do that. If you have your own practice, if you're already seasoned in the hypnotic journeying, definitely do that. One more thing before we get started. If you feel like, gosh, I'm kind of tired, I might fall asleep, I encourage you to get into a relaxed position for this journey, but more in a seated position, like not so reclined back that you could easily fall asleep, but maybe kind of put yourself in a seated position and then blink your eyes close as we move into this journey. And just feel yourself right here, right now. Feel the back line of your body. Yeah, feel the parts of you that sink deepest into the softness beneath you. And on your next exhale, effortlessly and automatically, feel yourself soften and sink even deeper. Deeper and deeper relaxed with each breath, effortlessly and automatically. And so, not right now, but in a minute or so, we're going to take 3 deep breaths. And with these deep breaths, I want you to imagine inhaling light, clean, beautiful air. And as you exhale, I want you to blow all that air out, along with anything that's stressing you out, anything that's weighing heavy on your mind. Just blow all that air out. So taking those 3 deep breaths whenever you're ready at your own breath rate. Good. And just returning to the natural rhythm of your breath. Whenever you finish with those deep breaths, good. And just feeling yourself settling deeper and just drifting to the sound of my voice. Just focusing intently on my words and on the journey as it unfolds in front of us. If you drop too deeply asleep, you'll hear my voice saying the word now. And that word now, it'll sound clear in your ear, and you'll wake up, refocus once again, intently on my words and on the journey. Pictures, images, impressions, feelings, knowings, they'll float easily into your mind in response to my words. And now bring your awareness to your eyelids, and specifically where that top lid touches your bottom lid. And effortlessly and automatically, with your exhale, feel that top lid become heavier, stickier on your bottom lid. Good. And now bring your awareness to the very center of your being, the very core of you. And imagine, sense, feel, know that there's a spark of light in the center of your being. And this is the ancient, all-knowing, and eternal part of you. It's the part of you that lives life after life and life in between lives. The part of you that holds all the memories and all the plans. And now know that this spark of light, it's getting bigger and brighter with each breath, each heartbeat. And just allow that light to continue to grow. Imagine it, see it in your mind's eye. The spark of light becoming so big and so bright that it emanates out all around you. And now imagine, feel, sense, know that this light is creating a protective barrier all around you. And have this light surround you with its love and protection as you go deeper and deeper relaxed. And you're now totally protected. And bring your awareness back to the very center of your being, your core. And I'd like you to visualize a root system going from your core down into the earth. And imagine these roots reaching and growing so far, so wide, and so deep. And know that with each exhale, you release anything that's no longer yours to carry through these root system and into Mother Earth. And she excitedly takes the energy and transmutes it to a higher frequency of love and healing, nourishment for everyone and everything that calls Earth home. And know that with each inhale, you're pulling up this grounding, nourishing energy from Mother Earth to you through this root system, relaxing you, healing you, grounding to our great Mother Earth. And now bring your awareness to the very top of your head. Imagine the crown of your head opening up and allow light to come in. This beautiful light from the universe, from above. And allow this light to penetrate every part of your being as you go deeper and deeper relaxed. And just know that this light, it's warm and loving, and it embraces every part of your being. Feel its warmth as it touches your forehead and eyebrows, and all the tiny muscles around your eyes soften and release. You feel this light move along your jawline, even your tongue relaxes. As this light moves into your neck, down into your spine, sending a wave of relaxation across your upper back, middle back, lower back. And feel that light pool in your hips. And you feel yourself soften and sink even deeper. This light moves across your shoulders and down into your arms. Your arms feel so heavy at your sides. You're so glad you have nowhere to be, nothing to do besides stay put, relax, and listen. And this light moves into your chest, opening up your heart center. And this light overflows, filling your chest into your abdomen, bathing all your organs in this healing light from above. And now feel this light move into your legs, thighs, knees, calves, ankles, deep down to the soles of your feet. You feel a wave of relaxation move through your body. And you're now totally bathed in this healing light from above, connecting you to this divine healing, divine love, divine wisdom. And you're totally protected and grounded to Mother Earth. And during this entire session, all this loving, healing energy around you and within you, it's healing you and aligning you to the life you came here to create. Now, every time you experience hypnosis or a meditation session, with your intention, you can go as deep as you want. Every time you have this experience, you'll go deeper and deeper, higher and higher awareness. And as you're now deeply relaxed, you can feel and access your soul self even more every day. Every single day, you are more and more aware of this light that you are and the power you hold because of it. And as you feel this light that you are, allow your light to grow even more. You remain protected here, and the light that you are reaches out, sending peace and harmony to everyone and everything it touches. Imagine this. See it in your mind's eye. Imagine your light filling the room, your home or the building you're in, your neighborhood. Imagine your light bringing peace and harmony to everyone and everything in your city, your country, the continent. Imagine your light moving all across the world, bringing peace and harmony to everyone and everything who calls Earth home, including you, including the great Mother Earth. And now feel this light that you are. Every day, you are more and more aware of this light that you are. And now bring that light out even farther until it's expanded into all that is. And you are one with all the energies around you and all the energy that is you. And now some of this energy, this light, it's taking the shape of a space, a safe and special place. And now in this place of expanded consciousness, expanded awareness, moving into a realm of pure and unconditional love, settling in here, enjoying the comfort of this special place as the details begin to form around you. You may see colors, lights, flowers, mountains, water. Maybe you feel the breeze or the sun on your skin. But you feel so at peace and inspired in this place. And you see you're standing on a path. And you begin moving down this path now. Moving down this path, noting the beauty of this place. You see the joy and the wonder here. And you continue to follow this path. And this path leads you to the edge of an inviting, enchanted forest. This is the forest of kin, an enchanting, transcendental place. The most important thing for you to know is that you are safe and you belong here. You maybe even have the sense that you've been here before. You notice that the temperature of this forest is the most comfortable temperature. The breeze feels just right. The clouds in the sky. You feel so at peace and inspired here. Moving down this path into the forest, deeper and deeper. Maybe you notice birds in the sky. Maybe you can hear the wind through the leaves. Maybe you feel the soft grass on the trail. Just allow any details about this peaceful and loving forest to come to you. And you continue to move through this forest now. And in the distance, you see a clearing in the forest. And the light from a warm campfire in the center of the clearing. You move closer and you settle into your spot around this fire. Now know that you have the awareness and the depth here to access all the memories and plans of your soul. Imagine yourself here next to this fire, grounded, connected, protected. Imagine yourself gazing into this fire. And maybe you even move to a sitting or reclined position next to this fire. Maybe there's a piece of furniture behind you or a piece of earth that feels just right for you to relax on as you gaze into this fire. Relaxing near this fire, preparing to go on our journey, a lifetime we're meant to experience today. A lifetime that will help us to call in more good things into our life, now and throughout the year. So imagine yourself near this fire and imagine us all around this fire. Imagine yourself closing your eyes, being totally in your body by this fire, surrounded by the love and the connection of the forest of kin. And now, with your intention for this journey, holding it in your heart, in your mind, just allow your awareness to lift higher. You remain next to this fire, and your awareness lifts higher and higher until this forest is just a speck on the earth beneath you. As your awareness is here, high above the earth, you feel so comfortable. It maybe even gives you a giggle. It's so comfortable. And now, on the count of 5, you'll move back down to earth, firmly with feet on the ground, inside a memory from another lifetime that you're meant to experience today. 5, gently moving closer to earth. 4, closer now. 3, 2, planting your feet on the ground, becoming more aware of the details around you. And 1, firmly planted in this scene, in this memory from another lifetime. And just allow any details to come to your mind, bubble up into your mind. Don't question it, just go with it. Get curious. And just know that by simply observing what comes to mind, it'll cement in your memory. So just know that you'll remember. Be with the journey as it unfolds. And so, my first question, are you inside or outside in this scene, this memory? It might be a feeling, a knowing, a visual. Just go with what comes to mind. Are you inside or outside? And just allow any details to come to mind. Just observe and know that you'll remember. And now bring your awareness to yourself in this scene, in this memory. And just allow any information about you in this scene, in this lifetime, to come to mind. You might get a sense of your age or gender, or what you're wearing. Maybe you even get a sense of your mood, or if you're worrying or stressing or thinking about something. Just allow anything to come to mind. What do you know about yourself in this memory? Just observe and know that you'll remember. And what else do you know about yourself in this scene? Maybe it's what you're doing or how you feel about what you're doing. Know that you're safe and just observe what comes to mind and know that you'll remember. Good. Knowing that all of this information is already with you. Just opening up that subconscious mind, just allowing these memories to come in effortlessly and automatically. Are you alone in this memory? If you're alone, how do you feel about being alone? And if you're with others, what do you know about them or your relationship to them? Just observe what comes to mind and know that you'll remember. And just allowing this scene to unfold. Imagine yourself like you have a fast forward button, a remote control. Maybe you move this scene forward a few minutes, a few hours. What happens next in this scene, in this memory? Just observe what happens next as this journey unfolds. Good. Taking this memory with us, we're going to move to another scene in this life, another memory from this other lifetime. And when we move there, you might be older, you might be younger than you were in the previous scene or memory. But either way, you'll be in another memory from this lifetime. 1, 2, and 3. Moving to another scene in this past life and just allowing the details to come in. And getting a sense for any details that come to mind. Just going with anything, even if it seems like you're making it up. And focusing on yourself in this scene, get a sense of whether you're older or younger than you were in the previous memory. And then what else do you know about yourself in this scene? Whether it's what you're doing or how you feel, something else. Allow any information about yourself to come to mind in this scene. Just observe what comes to mind and know that you'll remember. And just allowing any other information about yourself to come in. or anyone else who's with you in this scene. Maybe you get a sense for anyone who's with you and how you feel about them or your relationship to them. Or if you're alone, how you feel about being alone. Just allow any details to come in about your surroundings, whether it's people or if you're alone. Just observe and know that you'll remember. Good. Just observe and know that you'll remember. What else are you aware of here? Whether the scene moves forward and you can tell what happens next. Maybe something changes within you or around you. What else are you aware of in this memory? Good. Taking this with you, knowing that these memories and more from this lifetime are with you always. And we're going to move now to another scene, another memory in this life. And it's going to be the final scene in this life, the final moments. And on the count of three, you'll be there. 1, 2, and 3. Moving to the final memory, the final moments in this past life. Knowing that you're safe. Just allowing the details to come in. And just start with yourself here if that feels good. What are you doing? Who are you with? How do you feel? Just observe anything that comes to mind about yourself in this scene. And just allowing this scene to unfold. Maybe you get a sense of how you're feeling emotionally or physically, how you feel about the final moments of your life, or if you know it's the final moments of your life. Just taking this memory with you, knowing that you're safe. We're going to move yourself ahead in time. Imagine this scene speeding up like you're hitting fast forward. Move this scene ahead until the time when your soul leaves that body. And when your soul leaves that body, just observe what's on your mind as it happens. And just allowing it to happen. as quickly or as slowly. Know that you're safe. Feel the peace. And on the count of 3, you'll be out of that body, but still near that past life so you can reflect on it. 1, 2, and 3. Out of that body, as your soul has left that body, what are you thinking? What's on your mind? And just allow it to come right in. And as we reflect on that life, how would you sum up that life? Was it a good life, a hard life, a slow life, fast, boring, exciting? Was this a good life? And what made it good? Or what made it bad? Just allow that information to come in. And just taking any learning, any wisdom. My next question as we reflect on that life, was there anything you would have done differently in that life? Is there anything you would have done differently in that life? Just allow anything to come to mind. What would you have done differently, and what does that mean for you in your life today in 2024? Good. Knowing that wisdom is yours. When you reflect on that life, what were you most proud of? What were you most proud of in that life? And what does this mean for you in your life today in 2024? Just observe what comes to mind and know that you'll remember. And now, this question is for your highest self, for your spirit guides, your spirit team. Why were you shown this past life at this time? Why were you shown this past life at this time? Just observe what comes to mind and know that even if it doesn't make sense, it will in the future. So just relax and observe. And when it comes to bringing in more of what you want this year, this question again is for your highest self. What can you know or understand about yourself, about your life, about your goals that will help you create even more of what you want this year? A life that feels purposeful, free, abundant, or however else you want to feel. What else can you know or understand that will help you get more of what you want this year? Just allow any information to come to mind. It might be a memory. It might feel like advice. It might be a picture. It might be something else. What else can you know or understand about yourself that will help you create more of what you want in your life this year? Good. Taking all of this wisdom with you. Before we come back, are there any insights, action items, anything else that you need before you come back to the present moment? So you might get a message from your higher self. Maybe you have a question that you want to bring to the front of your mind and see if you get an answer. Any other messages from your higher self, spirit guides, anything else before we come back? Just observe what comes to mind. Good. And taking it all with you, even if it doesn't make sense yet, even if it seems like a lot, it's all yours and it's all with you. And it's time now to begin our journey back toward the present moment. And before we move away from this space, just send love and gratitude to yourself in that past life or other lifetime, anyone who was with you, anyone who was with you in that past life, in this space of spiritual guidance, just sending love and gratitude as we begin to journey back. Now imagine yourself floating away from that space and floating into a beautiful, colorful mist. And as you merge with this mist, know that any heaviness, any residues, anything that you're carrying that is no longer serving you from that past life or any life, anything that's being able to be released is released and transmuted to a frequency of love and healing in this mist. And know that the healing light from above, even more of it is coming in through your crown, bringing you wholeness and abundance into your body, your mind, your soul, the energetic fields around you. And now know that with each day, you'll see more and more of your life as being the life you want. You'll see the things that you created, the action you took, and you'll watch your life unfold uniquely abundant to you and the life you came here to create. And so it is. Returning back toward the present moment, moving into the next phase of your evening. I'm going to count from 5 to 1. And when I say 1, you'll be balanced and ready for the next part of your day. 5, remembering everything you experienced. 4, bringing the memories, the wisdom back with you. 3, more and more in touch with the room around you. 2, beginning to feel sensation in your fingers and toes. And 1, feeling comfortable, waking up, feeling balanced, peaceful, and just easing yourself into a position that feels good. Yeah, and just taking a few deep breaths, take a stretch if you need it, grab water, use the bathroom. I'm going to give you guys like 2 or 3 minutes of quiet or just write down anything that you don't want to forget. So, in this space, if I were you, if something like surprised me, if I was really worried I was going to forget something, if I got something and I didn't totally understand it, like those are the things that I would write down. Um, but you can write down whatever the heck you want to. And it's best practice for you to think like, what do I want to remember from this? And just write down. So we'll spend a couple minutes doing that. If any questions come up, we'll be doing that next. So keep tabs on your questions. So just hit pause here to take some time and journal about your experience, even if it is just like 1 minute of free writing. Write down the things that seem impactful, the things that seem very vivid, the things that you felt very deeply. And of course, if you have any questions, anything like that, write those down too. So hit pause and then hit play again when you're ready for a little bit of a share about this experience. Yeah, so whether you have a question now or in the future, if you have a question, you're getting it ready, go ahead and do that. But I just want to say about questions in general. Of course, if you're in kinship, we will be meeting in 2 weeks. If you don't want to wait 2 weeks, you can always talk about it in WhatsApp or send me an email. If you're here with community hypnosis, you can always hit reply to any email I send you with your questions, even if you're like, what the hell was this experience? Sometimes it's kind of fun to like, I think it's kind of fun to troubleshoot that kind of thing too. So let me know, even though, we'll be done in, I don't know, 20 minutes or whatever. I just want you to know that sometimes as we move through these journeys in the days or weeks afterwards, we can like spontaneously think about them, especially if they were really like emotionally charged. So I just want you to know if you feel like you're not in a space to ask a question right now, it's definitely in the future too.
Part of my intention for this year is to have more fun. And so I got, a life where I definitely had a lot of fun. Um, I'll share more details about that later. But the funniest thing was I haven't experienced going to my own funeral before. And so, like, it was like I was there. I could see myself, like my soul self, but it was like, an apparition almost. And I was with, my husband. We were both dead and we were watching my funeral and cracking up and like, isn't this fun? And it kind of made me laugh because I was like, that is so morbid and also hilarious. And yeah, I could definitely see myself like being that soul who really gets a kick out of attending their own funeral. So
I know. That would be such a cool experience. And the fact that you were like having fun with it, you know? I've had clients where they are at a funeral and they're like, this has actually happened 3 times that I'm thinking of right now, where they don't know they're at their funeral. Like in the scene, we find out like, oh, you're actually dead at your funeral. It's kind of wild, but I've never had an experience where it's like,
yeah, it was
very
like, well, it's
Scorpio.
like, well, then, and yeah, and that's my Scorpio moon. It was like at first I was like, wait, is this the funeral? And then I was like, looked and I'm like, oh, that's like my soul. And there he is, my husband. And we're like, isn't this funny? It's so great to be back together. This is hilarious, though. I'm like, oh my God,
Okay,
bizarre.
so Becky, knowing obviously like a little bit about your journey over the last couple of years, and how did that like you experienced a life that was fun, but I'm wondering, was there something new in that? Whether you felt like it waked a part of yourself up, or was it, oh yeah, this feeling? What's the shift if you feel like there is one? I mean, you're hot
It's
off the journey, so you might not have it, but
Well, it kind of made me think like, because it wasn't really like I stayed at home. mom, but this was like very, I don't know what year it was, but it was very far back. Um, and it could have been like, I guess maybe now I could look at it like, oh God, that must have been really horrible, like raising like five kids and having no like set schedule and like always having these kids under my feet and um always like things to do. And basically like my guides were like, you fun is like a mentality. It's not like they said, it's a mentality and mundane things can be made magical and fun if you allow them to be.
Yeah.
So pulling more like accepting that sometimes life is just mundane, but if I can actually like somehow make even mundane things fun, whether that's like, I don't know, like, listening to like, some comedy stand up or like, you know, um, trying to like, find the funny things. Because I think laughing really, for me, laughing is like the medicine of fun. So I noticed that a lot of the scenes that they were showing me, what it was I was doing a lot of laughing and running around and being silly and just being like kind of a free spirit. Like I could look at that life as like it was kind of boring, but I think the normality, like in that life, I made it very fun for myself and for people around.
There it is. That is our episode. Thank you, Becky, for letting me share your message that you got about having fun. I think that we could all use a little lightness, especially as we move into whatever, I guess, whatever the future is. Thank you so much for being here, so much for listening. If you enjoyed this, I would love it if you joined us in Community Hypnosis the first Thursday of every month and spread the word. Let your friends know about this podcast episode, about community hypnosis, either way. All right, everybody, as always, take anything that makes your load feel lighter and just leave the rest.